a pain in the butt this morning. Ah, there we go. It looks like it connected now. I think. There we go. Alright. Let me check one other thing. I'll be right back. Alright, can you guys hear me okay? Good morning to both of you. Chat here for YouTube folks. Figure out how to do it, but I can do this. We're off to a rough start here this morning. I don't know what is going on. Alright. I thought I had things set up properly. I do not. Being super cooperative. Stop it. Alright. Now I'll fix that later. Anyway. We will I'm just gonna start with the I haven't played with these Kenworths at all, so I'm gonna try starting off with those. And start exploring the map, and then we'll kind of go from there. Obviously, I've done some of it on the playtest server, so this is on the Xbox. And we'll see how it goes. Inside of the Kenworth, the luxury velour upholstery. Apparently an automatic. Cool. Got the back. Mirrors. Nice. Pick up the scout vehicle here. We'll see how it does in the snow. I haven't played with that in the snow either. Or at least not on this map. That's it, man. SnowRunner time. have this set up in New Game Plus, so there will be no dark. I hate. Maybe that'll keep me from tipping over a truck too. I gotta change the tip truck here. No flipper truck. Oh, well, that was bad. Slamming on the brakes. See how this thing does in the mud and snow here. What in the world? Old Marshall's. Oh, wow. Are we going to tip a truck, flip a truck in the first? Jeez. That's no good. There we go. There we go. I was going to bring the Kenworth 963, but that's almost cheating. I wanted to see how well this did anyway. Can't get mud tires for it, which is unfortunate. As you can see, I have chain tires because there's a lot of ice on this map. So if I get too frustrated with this, I'll go buy a 963 if I can. This is New Game Plus, so I set it up so that I could. Chunk of ice just doesn't want to move, does it? There we go. So I don't know that I can actually get the 963. I think I can get the Mastodon. I have all the DLC trucks unlocked, so. But I set it up in New Game Plus so that all the trucks would be available. And then it's telling me, well, you can't get them unless you explore some region. And I'm like, well, that's kind of silly. That's not how I thought I set it up, so it is what it is. Is the music too loud, or is it alright, or? Actually, I can turn that off now. There we go. I do need to get a playlist for this game. So far, so good. The old Kenworth seems to roll along just fine. Music sounds fine over here. All right, good. Yeah, like I said, I'll turn it off because I need either build a playlist or get a playlist. Oh, there's the road up there. This is drove right off the road. All right. Let's change trucks. The Russian Jeep here. Yeah, I know that now. Stop it. There we go. I know that now. trying to get this out of the way. Look, I found it. I found it, Spady. I found it. Well, Marshall doesn't seem to mind snow too much. All right. I was just testing to see how it did on ice. That's all. That's all I was doing. Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I haven't driven this, so I don't know how stable it is, but it seems pretty stable. Good. I've got the full upgrades on this thing, so upgraded the motor and everything. It seems pretty stable. Pretty stable. Let's launch the old truck in here, the scout in here a little more. Okay. I guess we'll go left. See what's to the left. I'm kind of going this way because I didn't really go this way that much while I was on the playtest server, so I went more towards the northern end of the map. Lots of ice. Lots and lots of ice. Oh! Hit that a little fast, apparently. That hurt. Still trucking though, so we're good. Yep. We'll go off here to the left. See if we can Atomic, what's going on? Donut Trucking Company, yeah. Trucking in Canada. How are you this morning? You on the road or are you at home? So far, this is a pretty good truck. Pretty happy with it. You got good power. Handles the terrain well. Seems pretty stable. New map, yep. This is phase 15, I believe it is. This is Quebec. 4 hours more to make it home? Oh, good. I hope you have a safe 4 hours. I do have chains on this truck, so. Okay, old Kenworth seems to work just fine. Everybody seems to be pretty happy with this DLC in particular. Alright, well, the bridge is intact there. I see some buildings ahead of me, so I guess I'll go up the road here and check them out. Do that in the scout, see how that does. So there are 2 new trucks, I think, on this. There's the Elephant, or Sleater. I'm not exactly sure of the pronunciation there. Which is the big truck, and then there's the Mercer, which is the older truck. But I played with it some on the playtest server. It's quite capable. It looks cool. I like the look of it. I've never heard of Mercer, so I'm guessing it's either derivative of something or it's a Canadian trucking company. But at any rate, it's a fun little truck, quite capable. I say little because it looks little compared to most of the trucks in the game, but it's, like I said, quite capable. It's got good power, good stability, good off-road capability. Alright, so this must be Sawmill? Sawmill, yep. Okay, cool. Alright, we found one resource for building bridges. That seems to be the first big task of this this particular season, is building bridges, because a bunch of them are out, so. Oh, excuse me. Apparently need some more coffee. That reminds me. Let me take my meds. All right. That'll get you home in time for what, lunch? Where you are? Alrighty. So we found the sawmill. Nice. It's a good looking map. Lots of snow and ice. I think everybody's speculating it'll be, and people who played it on the playtest server, it's like the second or third hardest map. No, no donuts this morning. My coffee shop did not have any donuts, unfortunately. I was most upset. I need to get back into doing that. I got sort of out of the habit of doing that, so I need to get back into that. Stop by my coffee shop, or my donut shop the day before, pick up donuts for the stream, especially the Sunday. Wow, forced camera angles messing me up. There we go. Well, it says the road is right here, but I don't know if I can see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. It is not easy to see the road in the snow. Yeah, coffee note. Why am I down to 3 gallons of fuel? Does this thing eat fuel that much? That's weird. Did that damage the fuel tank? No, it doesn't look like it. Lord. Unfortunately, I have a big fuel tank. Doesn't seem possible that I ate up that much fuel already. We'll refuel here. Alrighty then. Back on the road, see where we go. Oh, the diff is always on. Well, do I need 4-wheel drive for this? Probably not. Okay. About 3 gallons a minute. Okay. No, this is Xbox. I played the playtest server on PC, but this is Xbox. Yep. I was hoping the brakes would come on the Marshall, but apparently not. Oh, okay, this bridge is out. Did it come on when I? Yeah, okay. I think the parking brake works. Yeah, so I gotta use the parking brake to keep the Marshall from slamming into me. All right, so the bridge is out here. Repairing the bridges is more difficult in this game, or in this map, than it has been in other maps. You gotta unlock the... And it doesn't really tell you this, but apparently you have to unlock the resources to do the repairs in order to do the repairs. In order to even get the missions, so... Salty, what's going on? How are you this morning? Thank you all for joining the stream this morning. Alright, so let's see what we have in the way of missions here, and maybe that'll... Wormhole. Mining operations in full swing, but the deeper we drill, the more spare parts we go through. Keep finding all sorts of holes in the bedrock. We'd appreciate if you could get some new supplies before the ones we have run out. So we need drilling spare parts and oversized cargo. Okay. And that's over... Well, there's the first truck. Okay. It's like everything delivered 8 spare parts to Okay. I don't know where any of this stuff is at the moment. But there is a lighthouse there that I can go up to. I can take the Marshal up there. I guess we'll find our way over. Okay. St. Elmo's Fire. Alrighty. Coast Guard. No, that's just checkpoints. Titanic Effort. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute, what is that? Deliver stuff to the helipad, alright. Have to have warehouse access. Interesting. Alright, well. Let's take the Marshal out. Get rid of the bot. Oh. Psst. Every time, man. Alright, let's change truck. What the world? I've lost 2 gallons of fuel? What is going on? Alright, hold on a second. We gotta do some repairs, apparently. I've messed up my engine something fierce. What? Oh, there we go. What's going on with the fuel in this thing? I just filled this up, didn't I? Why is it weird? That's weird. Okay. The War Robots game, I like it a lot. If you're into that kind of thing, it's just basically a fast-paced shooter. It's not something I'm streaming at the moment, but I do like it a lot. It's a fun game. I don't know if I can get there from here, however. I see it there, but I don't see a route. I may have to drive around. Now, that's not the Steel Hunters game, which is Wargaming's thing. I ought to try that out at some point, because I haven't seen that. I haven't played that at all. But, can I get up here? Let's do that. Let's lock the diffs. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's fun from the, I mean, you can upgrade and, level up your mechs as you go and stuff, so it's got a lot of playability to it beyond just shooting each other, so I like it. I used to play the original mobile game, and so I was just curious what the console game's going to be, and it's frankly better than the mobile game was. It's more in depth. Well, the old con looks like it could do the job here. Man, it burns through the first two gallons of gas like nothing. Jeez. Maybe because I'm running it full all-wheel drive with the diffs locked. Yeah, absolutely. Crash, how you doing this morning? Need no winch. Trying to wake up? Yeah. Well, you were up streaming late last night, weren't you? Looked like it. Got coffee brewing? Oh, there you go. That's the task right there. Get the coffee brewing. Well, now I got myself in a bit of a pickle here. Oh, there we go. We can go. We can handle that. Whoa. Took that a little spicier than I probably should have, but turned out okay. Trying to take advantage of the Wartails? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's from a credit and XP standpoint, it's awesome. Easy now, don't go off the cliff. You can definitely make some credits up on that thing. Especially with all the credit bonus guises and all that good stuff. Was that a stupid tree branch? Really? Ah, I hate when this happens. Stop it with a tree branch. In one match, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, the amount of credits you can make in one game. Absolutely nuts. I love it. I like it just as a game mode. It's a lot of fun. I think it'd be especially good if you're trying to bring new players in, and then, you know, because it's a set thing every time, and it's not PvP. But it's realistic enough that you can, you know, teach people how to play the game. So I hope they make that permanent, because that's a lot of fun. All right. Opened up the map some. All right, there's a utility area. There's a trailer there. Okay, so there's the gas station. All right. Now this looks relatively familiar. Yeah, I hope so too. Because I think that's one of the things I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet that if they looked at their data, the hardest part of the grind is not playing the ships, it's gathering the silver. So, you know, there are certain parts of the grind in this game that, you know, I like. I mean, I don't have a problem with the grind at all. I generally don't mind grinding. I mean, that's sort of the fun of the game, I guess you call it. is, you know, doing the tasks and doing well enough to get what you want, but the way they do the grind is weird because it shouldn't be that hard to get silver. So it takes forever. I've got so many ships unlocked that I just can't pay for because I don't have the silver. So I've been using this to do that. All right, let's see. Is this bridge out too? I think this this bridge is out. You can see the chunks of it there on the ground. All right, so let's go to the next lighthouse, or not lighthouse, watch tower, which is over here. All right. So we need to get back down to... Wow. All right. So I came up here, right? So I think if I take the road, that'll be a little easier. Then I can come up this way. Back down to my lead truck here. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I've spent... Now, to be fair, because of the way I played the game for like the first 2 years, I spent a lot of money, a lot of resources on only grinding ships so that I could do bureau projects with them. So my use of resources has not been the smartest. I will admit that. But it also means that I've gotten a lot of premium ships, which make you more credits. So technically speaking, I should have a fair amount of credits, but I don't. And that's what's holding me up on several tech tree grinds, is I don't have enough credits to buy the next ship. Oh, excuse me. Stayed up too late last night. I logged off of my stream for Atomfall, and oh, did you? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's probably a smarter route than the one I went. Oh. What's going on in my eye this morning? It is not cooperating. Alright, let's get to the next watchtower, try to unlock the map here, and figure out what we need to do to get these bridges fixed. This was not a bad choice for Scout, for sure. And tomorrow I plan on, assuming somebody signs up, I plan on, I'll run this co-op with somebody tomorrow. I may have to redo the game, though, because the settings aren't quite what I wanted them to be. So we will see. I'm a little perturbed that I can't unlock the other trucks. Could have sworn I made it a... Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't bump up the level. I think that's what I need to do. Alright, well, I'll redo it. We'll play this, and then I'll redo it tomorrow. There we go. This is where I came up. Yeah, I didn't really use the AI that much, unfortunately. I wish I had, to some degree, but I just started grinding like bureau projects are right off the bat as soon as I could. Oh, oh, oh. Keep rolling. Nope. Got a little too aggressive there. Nice. Saved by the tree. You're down for that co-op? Yep. I will, so I'm going to post after this stream. I will post on, well, it won't be right after this stream, but today I'll post in my Discord, because that'll probably be the easiest way to do it. But I'll post in my Discord sort of the rules and stuff like that. I'm going to have rules because, man, this thing eats through some gas. I'm going to have to put up some basic rules on conduct and everything so that as time goes on, people know what to do. I know you do. I know you don't need rules, but I'll get that put up today, and then people can let me know what they want to, if they want to co-op or not, so. Just surprised at how fast this thing goes through fuel. Yeah. Yeah, they've definitely made improvements since, because I started playing like the second year it was out, I think. This thing's just a monster on fuel. Jeez. $4 years for you? Yeah. I guess I got the 5-year thing, so I guess I'm 5 years. I'll take the word for it. It doesn't seem like 5 years, but I guess it is. Yeah. I don't know where that is coming from. I thought I slept fairly well. Yeah, yep. I got the Cyclone last year. I got the Mysore this year. At least these bridges are intact. So far I'm liking this Kenworth C550. I mean, I'm not surprised because I've seen reviews on the truck, but I am in agreement with the reviews at this point. You're supposed to stop. Oh, Lord. Maybe it slid on the ice. So there's the other watchtower there. There's a trailer there. All right. Yeah, which, you know, I wish they were a little less stingy with those ships, that they were better ships. You know, if you've committed 3 years to a game, 4 years to a game, 5 years to a game, you'd think it was be a better ship. Almost, I mean, you could do a unique ship. Like, that, the only way you could get it is just to play the game for 5 years or something. You know what I mean? And the Cyclone, the Mysore, they're not really... You know, they don't have to be top tier or something, but I don't know. It'd be cool if the ship was available only if you've been playing that. My God, I'm going to destroy the engine on this truck. I just need to, like, unclip it before I stop, I guess. Ain't no front end left on this con. Lower gears. Oh, jeez. A mess over here. Kenworth seems to handle it okay. Doesn't seem to care. Bender, what's what's going on? I'm in Quebec, but I don't speak French. That's hilarious. Oh. I just plowed over that thing. Finally some snow. Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of snow in this thing. Plenty of snow. Alright. Now this area I've been to before, so I know what we got here. I know what we have here. Alright. Oops. Meant to refuel. There we go. Alright, so I know to get up here, I can cut through here, which is probably what I'll do. I think I can go up here as well. I know this way there's a lake in the harbor in the port, so I guess that's where I'll head next. It's not that much. Well, we'll repair it anyway. All right. Easy but greasy. What is this? So wormhole is over here. But I gotta get over there somehow. I could cross here. Well, now that I've established a fuel, maybe I'll do that. I'll go back here. I don't remember if there's a way to get down here or not from here. But I can go this way. So we'll try that. How have you been doing, Bender? I will say, as far as choice of trucks goes, this C550 is pretty good. When am I going to play ships again? I'll play ships again on Tuesday. Yeah, I know that. I know that, Bender. I got to finalize my taxes. I got to do yard work. Pay some bills. I got an estimate for the Jeep, by the way, so I'll send that to you and Dave here before too long. I'll do that today as well. It's not as much as I thought it would be, so that's good. Come on, Kenworth. This thing's pretty good. I'm right happy with it. It's a good DLC truck. I don't remember how much it was though. Can I get down there going this way? Yeah, me too. Well, maybe the second time. It doesn't happen often, that's for certain. I wonder if I can get across over here. Tell you what, let's do that. Let's shut this off. We'll switch over to the... Oops. We'll switch over to the Scout. This is the whole purpose of a Scout, right? Well, diff lock doesn't seem to make a difference on fuel mileage, so it definitely improves the speed at which I travel in the snow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on. You can do it. Get up on there. Get up there. Well, maybe this isn't a viable route. I can get this far with a scout. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this far, much further than this in the big truck, however. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Nope. No, there is not a route this way. Okay. Well, that's too bad. I was hoping there'd be a way around over here, but looks like we're going to have to go the long way. Pretty utilitarian interior, as one would expect. Cola, what's going on? Am I becoming an oil tycoon? No, not yet, but I'm working on it. We just gotta open up the map some, that's all. How have you been, man? Yep. Yeah, I gotta figure out something to do for a 300 celebration in Georgia, visiting friends. Nice. Yeah, I've been kind of looking at what to do, and there we go. Damn it. Becoming a theme for today. I don't know what the deal is. That's not too bad of a drive. What was it, about 8 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours for you? So, not bad. Oh, okay. Nice. Alright, so that bridge is out. Alright, so we just keep following our path here. I don't really see anything, any alternative here. Yeah. Been a while since I played either one of those. Holy smokes. Prestige run? Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be more of a comedy special. Trying to play Apex again. Holy crap. Get my ass handed to me. Damn it. I don't know what this yawning is about. Jeez. No, I'm not playing on hardcore. Not right now. I was trying to make sure the game was set up for co-op. Everything was set up, which I thought it was, but then I discovered that the road's a little slippery. That I don't have the truck availability set up the way I want, so I'm probably going to have to redo it tomorrow. But plan on doing co-op tomorrow. I'll post something on Discord and go from there. Is that what it is? Okay. That makes sense, Spender. Absolute sense. That's, you know, sometimes I wake up and I feel like I got a decent amount of sleep when I wake up, but then as the day goes by, it's like, you think you can play on your phone? You don't take your Xbox with you when you travel? What's wrong with you? You know, we have to wait for the Xbox Steam handheld to come out. You know, we haven't in a while. So I saw Bungie's doing a gameplay reveal for their new extraction shooter. That looks real interesting. I mean, it's the same issue we always have. I've always had with Wes, is that he'll get into a game, and I'll be like, yeah, that's cool, let's play, and then he gets so far ahead that it's just, then I just feel like I'm holding him up more than anything else. You know, because I'm playing stuff for the stream, it's a little hard for me to keep up with. You know, devote that much time to like Tarkov or something. So I don't know. It's an issue, but you know, he's playing Elite Dangerous and some other stuff now, so it's like, but yeah, I mean, I'm okay at it. I don't know that I'd be pretty good. He's definitely better at it. But, you know, but I enjoyed the game. I liked the game. It's just not something that, you know, that I'm probably going to stream. Even though the streaming from the PC seems to be pretty decent. Better than I expected, honestly. So, I don't know. No build Fortnite? I'm... Oh, jeez. What the... That's what I get for texting and driving, I guess. Wow. Ooh. Chunk of ice really smacked me. But yeah, yeah, I haven't played Fortnite in a while. I guess if I wanted to get into it, I'd start doing Marvel Rivals. Even though that's like Overwatch, I never liked the play style, the gameplay style of Overwatch. So many games, so little time, so little money. Because the little shark starting to stress you out. Yeah, I haven't played that. It's amazing how, it's amazing how popular that thing is. I mean, you got to give it to that guy. You know, he connected with the market. There's no doubt about it. It just shows to have a popular game, you don't have to have fancy graphics or anything like that. You just have to have an interesting gameplay. Become a local drug dealer. I mean, it's basically a video game version of. Yeah, it really is. But it works. You know, all the top streamers are playing it. You know, got thousands of people playing it. You know, meanwhile, yet another, what was it, South of Midnight comes out, and they got like 500 people playing it. Spent $40-50 million developing the game. It's like, at some point, y'all need to learn that you just need to make something interesting to play. And Minecraft has sort of made that, because of course the graphics on Minecraft are hardly sophisticated, but that's almost part of the charm. Hell, they got a movie out now. Well, this is a mess here. Jeez Louise. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Chickens. Did you see they had to call the cops at some theater? I saw a video. The chicken jockey showed up and people went crazy. They had to call the cops to get things settled down because people wouldn't settle down. It's like, what the hell? So, oh, what? I wasn't even going that fast. Come on, give me a break. Jeez Louise. Got some, but not enough, apparently. All right, let's back this thing up and take a different approach here. Oh! I don't want to go that way. That doesn't look stable. Need something. Oh, I blew a tire too? What? Didn't even see that. Oh, 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 hold up. Jeez. Yeah, I blew a tire. All right, man. Take it easy. Yeah, I gotta do the same here in another hour and a half, I guess. Red numbers, lots of red numbers, yeah. Do I not have a... I thought I had a... thought I had a tire. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it is. It's unusual. I didn't have this much trouble on the playtest server, I will tell you that. Maybe I should have... Maybe that's another setting on New Game Plus. I'll just do no damage. Because I'm going slow. I mean, I've got it in a lower gear and everything. Put in an ultra low gear here, keep me from slamming into stuff. That's awful. I guess I want to go this way. Yeah, that looks like what I want to do. Bottom right corner. The bottom right corner should be how many subscribers and followers I have. The bottom left should be views. So I've got it looks like 4 people on Twitch and 3 on YouTube right now. Bottom left is viewers. Yep. Yep. The Marshall run out of fuel? It did. Jeez. What am I trying to do here? Okay. Let's see. There we go. That's what I need to do is change. There we go. Might as well fill up the Kenworth while we're at it. 3D, what's going on? How are you this morning? Trying not to destroy my trucks here. Now, I shouldn't need it on. I shouldn't need the engine on right now, so... I'm just going to go in a slow crawl mode, see if we can keep the damage to a minimum here. Okay. Wow, the ice is getting super duper deep. Super duper deep. Wow. Keep going. Keep going, baby. You can do it. There we go. Get back up on the snow. There we go. Whew, that's sketchy. Sketchy, 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 sketchy. Your kind of trucking right here, Atomic Potato. Oh no, it goes to a dead end. Oh crap, I went the wrong way. No. Oh, that's upsetting. That's not what I wanted to see. I guess I should have scouted it out, right? Yeah, let's see if we can figure a way up the hill. Yep. All right. I think we're going to have to take the marshal out and figure out if there's a way up the hill, because that's all cliff there. Might be a route up through the trees here. There's definitely no route through here. Well, that doesn't look very promising either. There might be a route that way. Maybe. Maybe. Do it. Well, you know I'm going to do it. I mean, it's a shortcut, right? I got to take the shortcut. That's one of the rules of donut-style driving. You got to take the shortcut. You got to at least try it. Got to do it donut style. I ran across some video. They were talking about the guy who did that Gundam style video, song and video, I guess. He's got a net worth of $60 million. He made a crap load of money off of one song and just called it a day. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I mean, this looks doable. There's trees to winch off of. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, this is doable. Yeah. Not a problem. Easy. Easy. Oh, yeah. Feel the bravery flow through you. The graphics they use for the ice is pretty cool. Did a really good job with that. It's quite realistic. The sound is good too, the audio. You can hear the grass popping and stuff. Or the ice popping and stuff. Not grass. Speaking of grass popping, so I was watching the Japanese Grand Prix. I watched the qualifying. It was crazy they had so much trouble with just the grass catching on fire. Who would have thunk? Nope. Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Just took that a little fast. Now, let's see if I don't know that I'm going to be able to recover this with a Marshall, but maybe. Just in time. Yeah, I was not paying close enough attention. Game over. Yeah, exactly. Not paying close enough attention. I knew that was going to be a sketchy spot. I thought I was going slow enough. Apparently I was wrong. Morning, Bug. How you doing this morning? How are things in the high desert, sir? Flip 01, yeah. Let me get it uprighted, and then we'll update the counter here. I'm hoping. The con here can do the deed. I don't have to bring another truck out here because I really don't want to do that if I don't have to. Yeah, I don't have enough distance, I don't think, to do that, but I may not have to. Oh, really? So it's nice today, huh? Yeah, this may require a bigger truck. Ah, not quite close enough. Not quite close enough. Yeah, I don't know if that, because I don't have that locked in, I don't know if that'll work. But we'll see. You would think that would give me some additional leverage. That's it. You can do it. You can do it. Almost there. Yes. Oh, that's right. I had it locked in with the crane. Nice. All right. There we go. One flip a truck. Mazel tov, exactly. Easy as pie. No problem at all. Other than it burned up a bunch of gas. Damn, this thing eats gas like the ANK does. It's crazy. Tell you what, this Kenworth has got a lot of punch, even in the lower gears. It wants to really accelerate. And we're back on the road, folks. Back on the road again. Let's see if we can do this rest of this little trip here up to the road without flipping this monster over again. I am impressed with this this Kenworth C550. I tell you what. Other than that little spill there, it's been very stable, and it just gobbles up the terrain even though I don't have full mud tires on it. Of course, we haven't run into a lot of mud here, but... Oh, jeez. It's too early in the day for all this yawning, man. Yes. Whoa. Attacked by a wild box. There are times when that's not a bad thing. Though it can get you in trouble. Forget to pick up the box. Alright, so... Okay, I need to be going the other direction, obviously, because... Yeah, that's... Exactly. There was definitely innuendo in there. Alright, so I think what I'll do is I will grab the Marshal. And, well, I might... Seeing as we got main road, I'll take the main road out to this watchtower. See what's going on there. Let's check that out first. Well, I mean, yeah, but I wasn't up that late. It was, what, midnight? I think. Was it midnight? Exactly. Was it midnight, Bug? Might have been. That's the problem with that Atomfall game is I'm like, okay, I'm close to the end. I made so much progress last night in the storyline. I was just stunned. Because I had such a hard time. I spent an entire stream trying to get into that base the previous stream, and then all of a sudden... Yeah, well, that's true at my age. No, it is true. That's late for me, but... Like I said, that's the trouble with that thing, that game, is that I just want to keep playing and playing and playing. Well, and I got that really good gun. It's like... Okay, so we've run out of... We've run out of bridge. We'll see if we can go around that way, I guess. It's also a good-looking truck. I'm sorry, but I like the way American trucks look. I'm not sorry. I just like the way American trucks look. I mean, I understand it's because I'm American, but... I just like the way they look. I even like the old American cab-overs. You know, they look like something from Minecraft nowadays, though. Because they're literally just a box. All the European cab-overs look like they've got some sort of aerodynamics going on, but loaded up in trucking, that's exactly it. I'll have to see if there's a copyright-free version. I can get of that, because that'd be perfect. I'll have to do a search for that, see if I can find a copyright free, or, you know, if it's not too expensive, I'd even do that. Cab over from Terminator? Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'd be surprised if somebody hasn't already. Yeah, there's a guy that's got a YouTube channel, and he's got this crazy truck that he's made. It looks like a Mad Max type truck. And there's actually a game on Steam that I'm waiting for it to come out, because I was going to stream it. That's basically like Mad Max or Fury Road or whatever, where you're hauling loads from one place to another, but it's a Mad Max environment or a post-apocalyptic environment. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that'd be fun if it's well done. My problem is I can't like American Truck Simulator and European Truck Simulator. I just can't get into. I like to watch other people play it, but I can't get into playing it. It's just it's not challenging enough, I guess. it's cool seeing the scenery and stuff, but if I can walk away from it, that's good. I can't get into playing it much. I've tried. I even tried playing that SnowRunner game. Just, there's something about this and doing the off-road. And there was a fair bit of that in Roadcraft that I liked, which is coming out, what, a month from now? Uh-oh. Well. God bless. Okay, we can't go through there. You can never play this game? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know. There are definitely some games that I'd rather watch than play. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, they're amazing trucks. I've watched several reviews on them, you know, American truckers reviewing them and comparing them. There's, you know, the driver ergonomics, as I understand it, are just fabulous in those things. That, you know, I don't know enough. I mean, I've seen so many American trucks that are done up, but they tend to be more on the custom side. Aces of Thunder, yeah. It's like, I haven't seen anything on that in a while. On Aces of Thunder. I may stream later on today the marathon gameplay reveal. I know that's coming out today. It may already be out by now. I didn't want to disrupt this, seeing as I missed all last weekend, but that's an extraction shooter, so it's not something like this. But it looks really cool, so I did want to cover it. But yeah, those Scanias are, I mean, they're amazing trucks. I know Noriko's always going on about them, but, you know, he says everything that the Swiss do and make is better than everybody else. So, which I understand, you know, I understand the nationalism. I respect it. I don't always agree with it, but I respect it. But those are some nice trucks. Oh, yeah. Is that what International runs? Okay. So what do you see as as an actual over-the-road trucker? What do you see as the advantages to these Scanias? I mean, I know they've got powerful drivetrains and stuff, and there's a couple of YouTube channels I've watched with European truckers driving them, and they seem to be really nice inside, and the ergonomics seem to be really well thought out. All right, I think it's about time to break out the Marshall here and do some scouting before I drive this monster too deep into the woods. 2 hours and 17 minutes from now? Okay. So that's what? It's like 1 p.m. our time. Alexa, remind me. Marathon stream. 12:45 p.m.
Okay, I'll remind you at 12:45 p.m.
One word, comfort. Yeah. See, and that's the thing. I mean, you know, you got to take care of the person driving the truck. So, let me move this forward so I can get this con moving. Give it some room here. All right. Change trucks. And Lord, this thing is out of fuel already. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, come on. It's not in the way. God God's sake. Suck it, Nightbot, exactly. Whoops. I was trying to refuel. Oop. All right. Have you ever sat in a Scania? Tomato? Potato? I said tomato. Sorry. That was atomic potato. Tomato. I'm sorry, dude. Oh, Lord, my brain. Yeah. That's what people say. They just seem to have a different philosophy about designing the vehicle. I mean, there's definitely a distinct American aesthetic and philosophy versus the European aesthetic and philosophy. Not yet. Yeah, I know there's a couple of them that have shown up in the United States. I didn't know if you had a chance at some point of sitting in one, but like I said, you know, all you have to do is watch. I mean, there's several people who do reviews and compare and contrast. American truckers who compare and contrast, and that's one of the things they talk about is the ergonomics and everything are just amazing on those trucks. So. I know I'm supposed to be headed towards something. Oh, that's right. I'm trying to get over to this watchtower. All right. Keep going this way then. Well, and I know Scania, you know, after Noriko had mentioned it, you know, I went and looked up Scania on... and I will say that I had... When I was working for United, I had one of my over-the-road guys. He swapped over to a Volvo from... I don't think it was a Peterbilt. I think it was a Freightliner. He had a Freightliner. He swapped over to a Volvo. And then he bought... What were those, the Freightliner T1000? Oh, come on. Really? What is this? Well, how am I supposed to get around that shit? But the real aerodynamic things, but he had a Volvo, and he really liked that. He said it was much more comfortable and much easier to do the long trips. And that was back in the day of paper logbooks, so you know what that means. But he really liked that Volvo. He said it was so much easier to drive and less fatiguing and everything. Okay. Oh, now I've got myself good and stuck. Crap. Okay. Come on, gearbox. Lord, I got the rock stuck up in my... Yeah, that worked. That's what I was trying to do. Look at that. Bounced it out. Poof. Kick it over. Did you see that? Boom. I tell you what, we went to... When I went up to Windrock in Tennessee with my Jeep, my brother and I went up there, there was some of those guys with those custom-built rock-crawling buggies, And they just, I mean, like something like that, they just, blah, and right over. I mean, it was incredible. Kickflip 360 with, exactly. Exactly. But they would absolutely, yeah, no doubt. They would just absolutely hammer these obstacles, and it was just like, dude. But again, it's, it's purpose built for that. Okay, so that's not a thing that way. There's no getting around this up here. So I think that's the guy I just watched. Yeah, I think that's the guy I just watched a couple, like maybe last week I watched his YouTube channel. Because he does a lot of different comparisons, and he had like a Peterbilt and a Scania, but then so he's going around. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, Scania probably is. I mean, that's the way you do it. I mean, how do you, I mean, yeah, you can get some hot chick to market your trucks, or get some actor who dresses up like a trucker to market, but no, just get a real trucker that. I mean, this is the beauty of the internet and YouTube. Is you get an internet influencer that, whether it's a farmer or a truck driver or whatever, who everybody knows, knows is actually a truck driver, and actually there's some attractive female truck drivers as well. What's her name? I can't think of her name right off the top of my head, but I've watched her channel a couple times, and I think she's got a brand new Scania, but that thing is all custom out. She's got all kinds of crazy shit on it. She's turned it into more of a showcase than it is a truck at this point. But at any rate, if you're gonna try to bring Scania here to the United States, that's the way to do it. What's interesting is truckers like yourself don't seem to be really big on adopting these electric trucks, but the companies are. And it's going to be interesting to see where the industry goes with that, because unless you can figure out some way how to swap out giant battery packs, I just don't see that working in the end. You just can't get enough range when you're pulling a heavy load. It just drains the batteries too fast. That's an excellent joke. I'm assuming that's a true story, but that's dude, your sense of humor just kills me. Have you thought about doing stand-up comedy? Because you can just do it on YouTube. You're hilarious, dude. You come up with these one-liners and shit that are just hilarious. Maybe it's just my sick sense of humor, but that's hilarious. She hates you. She eventually she'll appreciate your humor. She really will. Hopefully she learns it herself, because that's just fucking hilarious. Right. And that's where I see most of the electric trucks are the local, I think Pepsi's got a fleet of trucks that they use for doing deliveries and distribution and stuff. All right, let's get the show back in the road here. Less talking, more driving. I'm a chatting channel that plays a game at the same time. Of course, probably won't be that successful unless I get some cleavage, so. I didn't realize that Amazon's trying to do, yeah, like most of the delivery vehicles Amazon has here in this area, the box trucks are electric anymore. And that's, I don't have a problem with that. If they make it work, they make it work, but I just don't, And that's not, and I'm not against electric vehicles by any stretch. I think there's an application for them. My biggest thing with electric vehicles is the lack of maintenance that you have to do. There's no oil. Yeah, it's exactly. And am I stuck here now? Really? You know, if like, and you guys can look this up on here. I'll tell you what. Hold on a second. Let me. I mean, there are a couple electric vehicles. You know, again, the maintenance is a big thing. There's no oil to change. There's not all this other stuff. Yeah, they do struggle in the cold, absolutely. But there's lots of things that make sense. Oh, this is actually a new video from him. Okay. Where is share copy? I don't know if this will work, but we'll try it. So this is a company I have been tracking for a long time, and I think it's a really interesting project. And they're getting, yeah, right. I agree, Atomic. Absolutely agree. But this the YouTube link I just put up there is for a project, a company I've been watching for a very long time in this particular project, and I will say that I have a deposit on one of these, so it'll be interesting if they actually start producing cars. They're getting real close to it, but I like what they're doing because it makes sense. Yeah. Yep, but I think they're actually selling it. I've seen a couple on the road. It is a really cool looking truck, and you can also get it with the gas extender, range extender already built in, which is nice. I think that's smart. Because again, there are applications even off road where electric makes a lot of sense. I mean, the torque and whatnot is tremendous, but you know, off-roading, for instance, will wear an electric vehicle out. I mean, it will wear a battery out really quickly. Yep. Yeah, it's as I understand, VW owns the nameplate and stuff. They bought the rights to it, and so it's associated with them, but they run it sort of as a separate company, which I think is kind of an interesting way to do the whole thing to begin with. Crap, come on. Yeah, I love Jay Leno's Garage. That's a great channel. He's got a lot of interesting stuff on there. I don't know if he's done one on the Aptera, but there are a lot of you know, situations where an electric vehicle makes a lot of sense. And obviously Tesla has made that, you know, I mean, and Rivian. You know, I see Rivian trucks all over the place here. Of course, I see a lot of Sabre trucks around here too. Not a huge fan of the Sabre truck. I think it's kind of ridiculous, personally, but, you know, to each his own. It's your $100,000 you're spending. You do what you want, but there seems to be a lot of coke that goes with the fridge. Exactly. Exactly. I saw your thing pop up just as I said it. Yeah. You know, but that, I mean, the thing is, and this is, it's interesting when you look at the success of the Prius above all the other hybrid cars. One of the primary reasons it did well, yeah, we've got a bunch here too. They're real popular. And this is, you know, when you start looking at the middle of the country on down, the battery, you know, it doesn't get real cold and all that stuff. So, all right, 3D, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you stopping by. You know, you can see where electric car makes sense. You get up into Michigan, where I'm originally from, and, you know, it gets damn cold up there, and it kills absolutely kills the range of those batteries. The same thing with towing. You know, I watch, there's a YouTube channel I watch, the Fast Lane. They have a whole series of channels, TFL. And they have a TFL EV, and they got a Dodge, a Rivian and a Dodge Ram, I think. And the Rivian couldn't tow a camper more than like 40 miles or 80 miles or something like that. I mean, it was ridiculous. And it's like, well, what's the point? Oh, crap. What's the point of having all this torque if you can't tow something because the battery, it cuts your range in half? And it just doesn't make any sense. And that's the same thing with tractor trailers. I mean, I don't think you'll see over-the-road tractor trailers for quite some time. Unless you can figure out some way to swap the batteries out really quickly. All right. We made it. So we're at 11 o'clock here. All right. Oh, no, I'm turned off. Okay. All right, so, okay. All right, let's take the con and let's do some scouting around here, see what we got. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, hybrid makes a lot of sense. Yeah, going to Georgia, yeah. Yeah, hybrid cars make a ton of sense, especially if you spend most of your time in the city. Especially these hybrids that can get, you know, like the Chevy Volt is sort of an interesting case study because the GM engineers looked at the data, and the data says that most people commute 40 miles a day. So they made the battery last 40 miles, and, you know, it had a really efficient electric or a gasoline engine as well. But I mean, it actually had a way that it would run the gas out of the car. It would use the gas in the car so that the gas didn't go bad over time, because otherwise it would sit in the fuel tank forever. You know, because for most people, you could charge it up when you got home, you drive to work, you drive back, you charge it up, you know, but you never had range anxiety. Good Lord, look at this thing. I'm guessing this is a mission here. Oops. Well, and there's a lot of straight gas cars that do that to save gas and reduce emissions. Yeah, it's the new Ferris wheel. Yeah, look at that thing. That thing is that's a lot. All right, where is this watchtower? I know there's a watchtower around here somewhere. So it's over here. I wonder if I can go down this road here and cross. Let's try that. Looks like a little house or something over here, isn't it? Yeah. But I don't see anything else over there. Yeah, and I know you can find websites and YouTube channels that tell you how to do that. I know a friend of mine's got a Jeep Rubicon, and he figured out how to turn it off. It's annoying. Well, yeah, a lot of hybrids do that because they will start from the. I mean, the most efficient time for gasoline vehicles is getting the vehicle moving. And that's why, like the Chevy Volt, it would actually run the gas engine when you got over 60 miles an hour or something, because it was actually more efficient to run gas energy-wise, it was more efficient to run the gas motor than it was to run the electric motor. And then, of course, it would charge the electric motor or the battery while it was doing it. So I didn't get close enough to the waypoint here. There we go. But like the Aptera, which I just posted the link for, the Aptera. Oop! Oh my God! I ran out of fuel. This thing eats gas. Holy crap! Ugh. All right, hold on. Okay, there we go. I got it in automatic mode for guys. Well, it is all-wheel drive, but shouldn't be that bad. I guess it's 11 minutes operation, so. Well, yeah, technically speaking, you're right. It does drink the gas. This is correct. The problem I'm going to have is that, as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive down here, and then I'm going to park this thing, and I'll bring the Kenworth down here and fill up the reserve tank on this. I'm really liking this Kenworth, though, I will have to say. This is a really good truck. Yeah. Where'd it go? And not turn it. No, that's the right spot. Okay, good. Yeah, there's the. We're good. We're good. But I'm really happy with the performance of this Kenworth. I like the look of it too. Some of the only problem I have with some of these DLC paint jobs is they're a little too dull. You don't really get to see the intricacy of this thing. I wish the colors were a little brighter. There we go. Yeah, so here maybe. I know there are rules for this ice on which ice you can go on and which you can't, but I don't know what they are. So I'm just going to drive until I can't drive anymore, I guess. I'm trying not to go too fast. I like the fact there's trees over here we're winching through. Whiter the better. That's what I would think. Alright, so there's the road there. Careful, you're liable to trigger somebody with that kind of language, Buzzcola. I was watching somebody else's stream and I mentioned Israel and they went off on me. I was like, dude. You know, I understand there's people who don't like Israel and stuff, and I'm not getting into the politics of it. I was just like, we're watching a trucking stream. And it's like, it's like, how do you get that triggered on a political issue on a trucking stream? It's just people need to relax. Well, this is not good. Yeah, let's see if we lock the diffs if we can get out of here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now that buzz, that was... Yeah, well, that's exactly it. And, you know, I don't even care if you're right or wrong. I'm not going to say he was right or wrong on what he said. It's just, we weren't even talking politics. I just happened to mention that was the best pizza I'd ever had was in Israel. And they were just like, they lost their mind. I mean, I was like, what the hell, dude? Y'all need a... It's a place in the world. Just relax. I just don't... You know, I've been involved with and interested in politics my whole life, and it's pretty rare. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty rare that I get excised even a lot about a political issue. And I have my political opinions, and people have got theirs, and I respect those, and I love talking about them. I'm not going to do it on this channel, obviously, but it's like people just get... You know, I think Joe Rogan is right about this, that people get to where their politics become their personality. They get so attached to them that they take it as a personal insult when you don't agree with them. And it's like, you can't do that, man. Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox. I was surprised by it. I was just like, what the? But that's what I was... Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I usually just, it's like, okay, it's not, you're not interested in an actual discussion. You just want me to agree with you, so we'll just stop the conversation now. We'll move on to something else, you know. Something less contentious like sports. Well, and that's smart, Bug. It really is. I can respect that you understand that, and so you just avoid it altogether. I think that's a smart thing. I really do. Mine are very strong, but I'm willing to discuss them, but that's just because I'm comfortable with it and I like it. But I only do it with people that can be reasonable about it. I actually prefer talking to people I disagree with. Yeah, and that was sort of my whole comment on Buzz Cola's thing, just because you say something that isn't even supposed to be controversial. It's like, you know, which ice should I go on, the whiter the better? And you'll get people who will just lose their minds over that, and you're like, this isn't even, what are you doing, dude? You need to relax. Life is stressful enough. Alright, so I think this will get me... This looks like it'll get me to the watchtower, doesn't it? Reality is stressful enough. It's called science. Yeah. I'm not going to go down that road, but... What's science anymore, right? It's amazing, and I think this is primarily because of the internet and nothing else. The world has gotten... I think I've been here before. I think I went up and around, didn't I? I did. There are so many things that have gotten so blown apart that nobody trusts anything anymore. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, to be honest with you. Because I could see some definite benefits to that. But it is, you know, one of the I was talking to a friend of mine about this because we were talking about mental health, and we were talking about, I think it's SSRIs. It was drugs for depression. And how they found out not too long ago that the entire study of which that entire industry of medication and much of the clinical research is based on is complete bullshit. The guy just made it up. And it's like, how did we not find this out for 20 some odd years? That the guy who did the research made it up. Yeah, no. And that is a great it's a satire. The book is better. The movie differs quite a bit from the book. Apparently, the guy who directed the movie disagreed with the book, so he put his own spin on it, which is interesting in and of itself. That's a whole nother interesting topic. But that's an awesome movie from that standpoint. The kind of satirical take. Oh, okay, so I have been here before. Okay. And probably... All right, so I'm going to go grab this. And then I'm going to go back around and hit this watchtower. Okay. Did I drive past that? I did. Oh, okay, I see what I did. Okay. Now, see, that would be cool. And that makes sense. It would make sense that they would make a Helldivers movie. It's a very popular game. It's also based on a very popular sort of cult classic movie. That would be cool. I could see the premise of that working really well. I have not played the game yet. I know you do. And it looks like fun. Right now, when I was talking to Bender earlier about playing with Pixel Operative, I just don't have time now between real life and the streaming to play too many other games. Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Bug. Stuff that used to be normal conversation is now heavily polarized, so. And the crazy thing is that if you look at, Sony owns both, yeah. The not crazy thing. The interesting thing is that when you look at politics, like if you go back to the days of the founding and you read newspapers and stuff, they were heavily biased, and there was a lot of polarization. People don't realize that, but there was a lot of polarization. As a matter of fact, as I recall from my history, assuming it's correct, because that's the assumption you got to make anymore. Oh, that's right. This thing can't pick up trailers, can it? It's got a hitch on it, and it can't do trailers. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. Look, it's got a hitch. I should be able to hitch it. It's been neutered. Alright, we'll refuel here using this. We'll drag it out. Maybe we can pick it up with a truck. The big truck. That seems to travel just like this just fine, so. Can I take a shortcut? I probably could, but I won't. I'll go the road. Am I going to come through here with the big truck? Where's the big truck? Yeah, I will, so I'll drop it here. Okay. Loophole tow. Exactly. Exactly. Alright, we'll just, we'll leave that there. Seeing as I've got enough fuel probably to get up to the watchtower and back. But yeah, it's... Like I said, I think people's newfound skepticism for basically everything is probably a good thing in the long run. Because I think people have been too accepting of bullshit that they've been fed for too long. And also, it's interesting, you know, I've started really using these AI tools a lot, and I don't trust them 100%. I think they're a good resource, but you need to check them. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and I think people learn. I think that's one of the values of, say, Joe Rogan's program is that he's not an expert in stuff, but he's willing to talk to people who may not be experts but have an interesting... Yeah, that's very much so, Bug. You're exactly right. People just... You know, I don't know if you guys have watched the movie Idiocracy, but there's some definite prophetic truth in that movie. I had a hard time watching, to be honest, because it was kind of so stupid, but it's an interesting take on sort of the next step. It's a vlog now. Yeah. Well, it's because so much of it turns out to be true. It's like reading 1984, and you're like, this would never happen, and now look where you are, you know. So, but you know, there's and look, I understand the appeal. Why would you want somebody to take care of you? Well, because you don't have to take care of yourself then. You know. Taking care of yourself is a struggle. It's not easy. I prefer it, but it's not easy. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's been so long since I've not Animal Farm, but 1984. Animal Farm is great too, but you're talking about in 1984. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what her name is, but yeah, she does a great job in that. It's a very convincing character. And that was a hard-to-watch movie. I read the book a long time ago, and I just watched the movie like about a year ago. I had never watched the movie because I'd never been able to sit through it. It took me like 3 sessions to get through the whole thing without being bored out of my mind. But I say that in that it's an amazing movie for what it represents. Atlas Shrugged, yeah, not a very good movie from a production standpoint, but again, very prophetic, very, very, very prophetic. I've read Atlas Shrugged, and what was the other one? Fountainhead? Yeah, Fountainhead. Both very interesting books, very interesting perspectives. I don't agree with Ayn Rand on a lot, but I do agree with her on some things. Yeah, the book, not the movie. Yeah, the movie. I think the movie was an interesting attempt to sort of bring that message to the masses, and it does a pretty good job of getting the central theme of the movie across. And again, if you watch it and then you look at what's going on in the United States, at the very least, it's pretty prophetic. But yeah, all that stuff. And again, you know, this isn't a political channel. I just find sort of all of this stuff and how things go. Yeah. That's the actress, right, from 1984. Yeah, it's no wonder he falls in love with her, right? Especially the character. And again, there's some prophetic sort of elements to that as well. Oh, there is. I forgot there's another scout trailer here. Okay. Well, I don't need that, fortunately. All right, most of this I did in the playtest server, so I recognize this. The idiot. Oh, no, you're right. Okay. Yeah, actors and actresses, I'm not great. I'm my memory, my ability to recall people's names and stuff like that is terrible. Facial recognition, no problem. But all right, so let's turn this off because it burns gas. That atomic, that is the biggest problem. There's no doubt. I will agree with you 100%. the lack of skepticism and the lack of critical thinking. And it's interesting, there are some small movements within the education community to get back to the critical thinking as opposed to the indoctrination, which is good. You know, this will sort of give away, and I think I've already given away some of my political leanings, at least in the past, but it was, yeah. And I think common sense comes from those two things: a healthy dose of skepticism and critical thinking. You don't take anything for granted, and when you run across something, you think about it. You listen to people's opinion, and then you make your own opinion based on your observations of reality in front of you and sort of what other people say. And I think that's where common sense comes from. Well, and there is that too, sure. Yeah, empathy. It's interesting. The empathy thing goes both ways. I think there are some things where there's too much empathy, and there are other things where there isn't enough empathy. It's a fine balance, I think. And it could cause people to make policies that seem like they'd be a good thing and turn out not to be. And then there are things where the policies are too strict and cause too much damage, despite, you know, the intention being to fix something. And I think both parties, both political movements, let me put it that way, I'm not even going to get into parties, both political movements run into trouble there. All right, so let's see. Let's get the Kenworth. Pick this up. Where's the next watchtower? It's way over here. Okay. And then there's one there. I know what all this is here, so... All right, so let's do that. So we're going to go from... We'll take the Kenworth across the ice. What I'll do is I'll pick this up. Probably back up and take this route here, because I'm going to flip the Kenworth if I take it over that hill. Whoop. What time is it? So I got about half hour. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know, again, that's a case-by-case basis. You know, I don't know the situation. I'm going to trust your view on it because obviously you know. There's stuff that happens where you're just like, I don't understand how that's, you know. Yeah, there's stuff that is just, and unfortunately part of that is just because humans are involved. Not to say that AI is going to fix that kind of stuff, but there are humans involved, so therefore mistakes are made. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the Marshal down this road. So let me do that, and then we'll drive the C550. Yeah. Well, actually, I guess I could... Yeah, that would actually be quicker, wouldn't it? Let's do that. We'll just follow this road here. But yeah, you know, there's definitely misapplication of laws that causes a lot of unnecessary trouble for people. And then there are people who get themselves in trouble. You know, and then there's the litigation. I don't want to get into it too deeply, but I'm having to deal with somebody's insurance company that I shouldn't have to be dealing with. And I understand they're doing their due diligence, but I shouldn't even have to talk to them, considering the situation. But it is what it is. So there's lots of factors in there, and I understand the reason for a lot of these things. I just don't necessarily agree with them. I think they're overblown or overdone. So, who knows? You just got to work with what you got, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that's where my view of skepticism is part of oh, jeez. People assume that they're doing something like creating a law, and they only seem to consider the good side, or at least what they think the good side will be. And we all know that the government is full of unintended consequences. They make a law, and it's supposed to do A, and it ends up doing B and C and very little of A. And I could give lots of examples. Again, I'm not going to. And I just think people need to be less myopic and less enthusiastic about passing a law to begin with. And when you look at the Constitution, that's exactly what they... Yeah, A and Z, yeah. That's exactly what they... Oh, A and Z, yeah. When you look at the Constitution and you read the Federalist Papers, which I've read a fair bit of, I can't quote from them necessarily because my brain doesn't work that way, unfortunately, but you read the Federalist Papers, it's pretty clear those guys didn't trust government at all. I mean, they are bordering on being anarchists, but they know anarchy doesn't work either. And we have gotten so far away from that, and I think we need to get back to that. I hope we do at some point. I think we're making some progress towards that now. I think we made some progress towards that in previous administrations in some respects, not in others. For instance, looking back at the George Bush administration and Patriot Act and that kind of stuff, of course, I disagree with it then. Yeah, upgrade my memory sticks, yeah. But, again, lots of unintended consequences and ability to abuse what is good, well-intended in many cases. Not in all, obviously. Well-intended legislation or policies. And I just think people need to be more cognizant of that than they are. I don't trust any politician on either side or in any political movement. I don't trust any of them. And I don't think anybody else should do either. I think that's folly. They are people seeking to use power, and I'm sure in their minds for the right reasons. But is it the right reason? You don't know. So they should have as little power as possible. It's interesting, like you look at Texas. The Texas legislature meets, or at least they used to, and Atomic, you can correct me on this if you want. They used to meet like every 2 years to pass laws, and that limited how many laws they passed. Now, they may do it more often than they do that, and they do that here where I live. They meet every year, but it's a limited amount of time. You have a few months to come up with legislation, and then you're done. I read a long time ago, yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got problems here. This is not, and I've read Mein Kampf. I've got a graduate degree, so at some point all this, yeah, it is. So I've read most of these books either in high school or in college. I will be honest with you that other than sort of the concept they laid out, I don't remember most of it because I was reading it for college and trying to work at the same time. So, All right, Buzz, take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you again for the theme songs. And have a good day, brother. Have a safe trip back from Georgia. But I think it's important that you read all that stuff, because those things still affect how policy is made today. Oh, great. Now I can't. Really? Really? Wow. This ice is nasty. Clearly the Carl is not a good test of the ice. Don't think there's anything I'm going to be able to latch onto here. Nope, that didn't help. Oh shit. There we go. Started pushing me deeper in. That's not what I wanted. Not what I intended. Unintended consequence. All right. Looks like we're making a little bit of progress here. There we go. It's funny, me crossing the ice started that whole discussion. That's my brain, man. Okay. This is not what you want to do as a truck driver. This is not. Don't go across icy lakes. I know they do. I know they do. But usually there's quite a bit of testing on the ice depth before you do that. Now, I got to try to do this where I'm not destroying my drive line, suspension, and tires. We're going to go nice and slow. Keep the wheel spin to a minimum. I'm surprised I haven't punctured a fuel tank yet. The old Kenworth does a pretty good job. I wonder when they license these trucks how much the company that they license it from tests the trucks. And they're like, no. You got to make it better than that. We're not gonna license it to you if our truck looks like crap. All right. Because I noticed actually owning a Jeep Wrangler, and the Jeep Wrangler in the game is very capable. Yeah. No, I'm, and that's pretty typical, isn't it, Bug? All right, Scene Chief, have a good one. I appreciate the like. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. I mean, that's typical dad and kids kind of stuff. You try, but they're gonna believe what they want to believe. So, and there's a historical precedent for that, obviously. All right, I think what I'll do is, when I get up here, I'll use the Carl to bring the trailer down, and I will swap them out. That'll be the easiest thing to do, I think. Well, I could probably put the other one back there, too. Then I'd have two that I carry with me. The ultimate and range extension. Well, I put that in the wrong spot, didn't I? Fortress of Solitude. Exactly. Perfect. Perfect metaphor. I like it. Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, that's yeah, I had a husband house. It was the same way in my old house. And to some degree, it's that way now. I mean, I don't have a man cave. I have a bedroom that I do my streaming and stuff from. So, and my daughter and I don't talk politics much. We do occasionally, but we don't very often. And the nice thing is she's a critical thinker. I don't agree with her on many things, but at least she's given them thought and really thought them through, which I appreciate and respect. And as long as she's done that, I'm pretty happy. Whoops. Oh, God, I keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. Before it runs out of fuel, there we go. I haven't used this con much, but I do like it. It's quite capable, other than it can't haul a trailer, which is really annoying. I don't understand that. Maybe it's because of the bumper I chose? I could have sworn it was able to... I know I've hauled a trailer with this thing before. Maybe it's the bumper. I get close to the garage. Maybe I'll swap the bumper back out to the stock one and see if that makes a difference. But, I mean, it's clearly got a hitch on it. Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a huge thing right there, Bug. And I don't even generally criticize people for those choices. I don't always agree with them, but, as long as you're not... I try to be careful that my views and my application of my views don't harm other people. And I'm not talking about voting, because people can make the argument no matter how you vote, you're going to harm somebody. I don't know that that's true. I think that's a little hyperbolic, but be that as it may, I don't tell other people how to live their... I have a hard enough time controlling my own life and making my own life go in the direction I want it to. I am certainly not going to tell somebody else. And I think that's where people get in trouble, is they seem to think they've got all their crap together when they clearly don't. And they tell other people how to live their lives. And it's like, even if you have your crap together, you shouldn't be telling other people how to live their lives. You can tell them how you live your life as an example, and if they want to follow your example, they can do that. But if you're spending all your time worrying about how other people are doing stuff and trying to tell them how to do their life and they're wrong and being judgmental, you got a problem. And again, in my experience as a nearly 60-year-old man, most of those people don't have their crap together. It's just the reality of it. I know very few people who have got their stuff really together, and it's generally because they spend their time making sure their life, they're doing the best they can for themselves. It's generally not people who spend their time telling other people how to live their life. Those people generally tend to be in the middle of a drama every minute of the day. Alright, so let's see. We'll refuel here. Oh, oops. There we go. Yeah, exactly. You know, the thing is let's assume you or I were, I don't know, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or any of these people who obviously have accomplished a lot in their life. Do they have any more authority to tell somebody how to live their life than you or I do? No. Even though they're very accomplished. Because guess what? They got weird shit going on in their lives. They've got areas where they need, they aren't doing the best. So, pay attention to yourself. Stay out of other people's business. If someone comes to you for help or advice, you give it as best you can, and if they don't take it, they don't take it. I don't understand this fascination for some people of trying to tell other people how they should live their lives. I just don't understand it. And I mean, I can recognize, if I've got a friend who's like doing something that's really dangerous to themselves, whether it's drinking too much or, stealing or whatever, I'm going to say something to them, obviously, because that's what a friend would do. Do I think that I'm better than them because I'm not doing those things? No. But I'm also a friend of theirs. That's different than just like one of my coworkers. If they're having struggles, I'm not going to tell them how to live their life, but if they're having problems at work that's causing them issues, I'm obviously have to address it because that's part of my job. But am I going to judge them personally based on that? No. I'm going to do what the company tells me I have to do and make sure that they're doing their job and I'm doing my job, and that's as far as it goes. Whatever they do beyond that, that's their life. It's not part of what I'm interested in. Again, I can barely keep my shit together, so I'm certainly not going to tell people how to do it, how to keep their stuff together. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and I don't think you're alone in that at all. The IRS is a lot of people's problems. And I think regulations in general are. At one point in my career, I was a wastewater management specialist, certified wastewater specialist, and I had to deal directly with the EPA, like EPA audits and stuff. Two things yeah, exactly. And I'm glad we have the EPA. Do I think it's misapplied quite often? Yes, I do. And I think there are some people who use it as a tool for gaining and exerting power rather than taking care of the environment. But I definitely see a need you know, having worked in an industry that is heavily regulated by it, I definitely see the need for it. But again, I see the need for it to be correctly applied. There's a difference. And again, it's no different than any other tool. You know, you can have a hammer and you can build a house with it. Or you can tear down the house. Or you can kill somebody. You know, or you can break in and steal something from somebody's house. It's just a tool, so. It's the person applying the tool that gives it its value, in my opinion. There we go. All right, change trucks. What time? We got about 10 minutes left. All right. Guys, I appreciate the discussion today. Like I said, I will probably do a live stream on the marathon reveal, just because I'm interested in that, from a personal standpoint. And then I'll be back on tonight with Adam Fall if things go as planned for the day. And I appreciate everybody hanging out and getting us a little closer to 375 and growing the channel a little bit at a time. I'd like to grow it faster, but I've got to do things in order to make that happen, and I haven't done those that much because other stuff gets in the way. So I just have to be patient, and we'll get there. But I appreciate a lot of you guys have been around since basically the beginning of the channel, and certainly what's going on with this thing? There we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's... Dude, I work for a coal-fired power plant. You want to talk about overreach? People have no idea. Yeah. No, that's right. You have to find the balance. As Thomas Sowell said, there is no good or bad. There's compromise. There's, you know, no good policy, no bad policy. 100% good or 100% bad. There's compromise. I guess right and wrong is what he said. There's no right or wrong when it comes to policy. There's just compromise. You can make good policy, and that's sort of what I was talking about with, you know, unintended consequences, is you apply these policies and laws and you make them so strict that you actually do other things. You know, I think if you look at like U.S. trade policy or, you know, climate change, you know, that you're talking about the EPA, they made things so strict that the only way to make stuff was to haul, you know, is to outsource it to China, or I shouldn't say the only way. The least expensive way to do things was to outsource jobs to China. Well, China's a huge polluter. So, you know, we lower our emissions and they double theirs. It's like, well, there you go. We're the donut nation loyal. Yeah. I don't know if I'm any leader, but I certainly do appreciate being your entertainment. And I do appreciate you guys' loyalty. Oh, I bet. Yeah, that'll... Wow. Yeah, that's a statement there. Yeah, that'll definitely adjust your perspective. And I think that's a lot, Bug. Honestly, I think that's a lot of what's going on these days, is that there are a lot of younger people who have lived lives without struggle because either they've been shielded by their parents or their parents have been... their lives have been full of enough resource that they haven't had to struggle, even though their parents in many cases did have to struggle to get to that point, and they shield their kids from it. That their perspective on life is just kind of very not very nuanced. You know, I will say that most of my life has been a struggle from my perspective. Has it been as much struggle as other people's lives? Of course not. There are people who have struggled a lot more than I have, and there's people who obviously accomplished a lot more than I have who had to struggle a lot more than I have. So But yeah, I think life-altering things like dying on the operating table definitely give you a different perspective. All right, I'm gonna use this con to go grab this truck. I wonder if I can pick the truck up and put it in the back here. I might be able to. Do I have time to do that? I do have time to do that, yeah. You know, and sometimes that's the kind of kick in your pants that people need to sort of get a wiser perspective on life and the world. And of course, I know nothing about your life beyond what you've said on here. You know, you may have had a struggle-prone life your entire life, but even then, you have a life-defining occurrence like that. It's gonna change your perspective for sure, one way or the other. I guess I better pick this mission up if I'm gonna do this, huh? All right, there we go. I don't think this crane is strong enough to pick this thing up, though. It's just too bad. But we'll see. Because I'm fairly certain, like it can. I've picked up the Jeep Wrangler with these cranes, so. Oops, there we go. I'm really happy with this. Again, this is the first time I've driven this Kenworth C550 in any extended amount, and I am quite happy with its performance. I do like that Sabre has added these tow points for scouts right in the roof. It really is nice that they've done that. Look at that. That's perfect. Come on. Spin around a little more. Yeah, I guess it depends on how you define struggle. When I say struggle, yeah, it's got a bad connotation to it, and to some degree, I look at my struggles as some of them being bad and some of them being good. The struggle of starting a business and running a business, I enjoyed thoroughly. It was a very positive thing in my life. Losing all that because of an economic crash, that's a bad struggle. But, again, it's a lesson learned and you move on. But yeah, I consider the struggle a good thing. I think people try to avoid struggle too much. It's interesting when you look at these longevity longevity studies. One of the things that is central to these longevity studies is that the human body and the human mind need an environment that requires adaptation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, you look at things like cold plunge therapy and saunas and working out and fasting and all these different things that go on are part of the longevity sort of routine that people talk about, that science is showing that if you don't have adversity of some variety, it's unhealthy for you. Your body and mind don't develop, they get soft, and you die young. However, if you're working hard and you work out and you expose your body to, fasting, for instance, tends to be very good for cognitive as well as other health benefits. I've done it in the past. I need to get back to it. But I think your life is better even if you have to do it artificially. I think life has gotten too easy for most people. And the science bears that out. That if you don't have adversity in your life, it's unhealthy. Alexa, stop. It's not good for you. Your brain and your body need adversity, whether it's lifting weights or, interesting discussion or whatever. You need some levels of stressors in order to develop and be healthy. And I think there's definitely too much emphasis on way too elite. What's going on? How you doing? There's too much emphasis on trying to make people's lives easy, when it's actually bad for them. How you doing, man? I see you streaming all the time. Looks like it's going well. How you liking the new season? Doing the Hindenburg grind, I hope. Dropping a like, I appreciate that, man. I will do the same for you. Let's turn this. There we go. This is some deep snow here. Holy moly, look at that. Just unlocked the Duncan. Nice. Yeah, because you're fairly new to World of Warships Legends, right? I know you've been doing a lot of tech tree grinding and stuff, so that's awesome, dude. Mains is next. I just got that not too long ago. I got it in a crate. And that's a really good ship. Yeah, I'm a cruiser main. I really like that a lot. The Duncan's okay. I never really... I mean, obviously defense is the pinnacle of that style of ship. Because I had the Collingwood. I've had the Collingwood, but I never use it because I don't particularly like it. But the mains, mines, whatever you call it, is a really good ship. The CZ is obviously the better of the two versions, and I don't have the CE, excuse me, not CZ, but CE. But, yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. I am not paying attention to where I'm going, am I? Well, I am, but I don't think I'm going to get where I want to go going this way. I do. I remember that show. Absolutely. And yes, SnowRunner is probably a version of Ice Road Truckers for sure. Well, this is unfortunate. Oh, wait. I can go to the other map, can't I? All right, let's do that. I'm running a little over time here, but I might as well go to the other map. Where is this thing supposed to go? Oh, no. Oh, it goes all the way over there. Huh. Alright, we gotta unload this truck then. Oops, that's not work. Stop it. Ah. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, it was a good show. Yeah, it was. And it's a good thing. What was the one where they did the crabbing? What was that show? Wild Alaska or something? No, it wasn't Wild Alaska. What was the show where they were on the crab boats? Wildest Catch or something like that. It's a good thing I didn't see that show when I was a young man, because I'd have gone and done that shit. Worked for 3 months, almost risked your life for 80 grand or whatever. Hell yeah. That looked like a good time. All right. Whoops. There we go. Ice Road Truckers was sort of that same genre. I think they were both like TLC shows for a while, weren't they? And then Dirtiest Jobs, that was another good one. Mike Rowe's a great guy. I watch his YouTube channel on a pretty regular basis. All right, I think we'll end the stream here on the new map. Oops. There we go. I think it's a good spot to stop. And so this is Lake Robert? I don't know. I don't speak French, so I took French for 4 years as a language. I don't speak French. I am not fluent at all. But Ribière, I guess. I'm going to go with that for now until I hear better. All right, guys. Well, again, real happy with the Kenworth C550. Really good truck, despite the fact it doesn't have any mud tires. Obviously, the Con is an icon of the game. So, but as a new truck, I am pretty happy with this thing. It has gone pretty much everywhere I expected it to go. So, it's nice and stable too. Yep, you have a good day, guys. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel, and hopefully we see you tonight. I will be doing Atom Fall tonight. I'm going to try for 7 to 10, I guess, something like that. But I'll post up on there. I think 7 to 10 is what I have on the schedule. I've got to put a new schedule up too. So you guys have a good one. Atomic, you have a safe trip home. Hopefully you get home, have some lunch and with the family and chill out. And that's about it, folks. Have a good one. Peace.